Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to this bonus edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm 12 Kyle. Check this out. On this podcast, what I'm going to talk about is what's on the box. Cutting the cord and going from cable TV to streaming services. Now, at the time of this recording, I was actually contemplating leaving DirecTV and moving over to streaming services. And I was a little apprehensive, and I was having a conversation with my man Eclectik because we had just finished recording a couple of other podcasts on his podcast. And I decided to just record this and ask him some questions because nobody watches TV like Eclectik does. So what you're about to hear is a raw and uncut conversation. I will apologize because it is choppy in a couple of spaces because we were experiencing some thunderstorms at the time of the recording. But you can still understand everything that we're saying. But yeah, just a real cool conversation about streaming services and moving away from all of that stuff and how I got ripped off by DirecTV. So sit tight. After the break, you will hear what's on the box from me with my man Eclectik right here on the 12 Kyle podcast. Let's get it. Welcome back. As I mentioned in the intro, thank you for checking out this bonus edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. It's your boy 12 Kyle, and I got my man Eclectik in the building.
Man, they call me Extra Credit E, man. I'm all on the bonus content.
Hey, man, I had a question for you. I had to get you on this one. I was thinking about this today, and it just hit me as we were just talking off air.
Yep.
You watch a lot of TV, right?
I watch too much TV.
You watch way more TV than me. Because sometimes you post stuff on your IG story, and
you're like, what is that?
It's like stuff I've never heard of.
Yep, just finished Emily in Paris. Right,
son. I'm like, and sometimes I want to text you and be like, what is that about? But I was like, nah, you know what? When I find a show that I'm going to watch or binge on or whatever the case may be, I'll hit him up and ask him. So here's my question. I'm getting, you and I had this conversation a couple of months ago, and I told you at some point I was going to, cut the cable and just go to the streams because, my family, we watch TV, but everybody watches houses, it's later. Nobody watches anything live but me. I watch sports live. So when it comes to streaming, as you watch TV, how has that changed how you view TV? Because you and I, we came up in a different era. In the, I Want My MT, came up in, watching BET, Rap City. We came up watching live programming. We remember the night that the Cosby Show, came on Thursday nights and everything was live and you talked about it at school the next day.
Right.
When you watch TV now, how much has that changed, I guess, with your lifestyle and everything like that? Because I'm looking at now going into full stream mode, just full, basically cutting the cable.
Yeah, I cut the cable about, I want to say five or 6 years ago.
Wow.
But at first it was really cost effective. Cable was ridiculous. Comcast was like, yo, and me being me and coming up when we came up, when I didn't have all the channels, I had to have all the channels. Mm-hmm. And so I was paying a pretty penny, but then I moved to Hulu Live.
Okay.
And then I got Apple TV Plus, and then they have bundles. So I got enough shit plus Netflix. But as far as how it changed, besides the panorama that we're in, the big thing that's different, I do like binging.
Okay.
I do like binging because Netflix spoiled me. Because Netflix would say, hey, we got a new show. Here's the whole season. And I was like, bet. Because I personally like TV shows more than movies. Because TV shows, they have episodes to develop characters and stuff, whereas a movie be like, look, I got an hour and a half, you're gonna get all this shit right now. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, it's a couple of things. The first thing is about a decade ago, you still needed to live because Twitter used to be a family and we
Yes.
all watched the shit live.
Yes.
So yeah, when the real shows was on, now when Breaking Bad was popping,
Mm-hmm.
oh now you had to watch that. You had to watch that when it came on. Um, so uh, but Twitter's not the same anymore.
Right.
And we don't watch like you remember how Twitter was when the
Oh, no
awards
question. No
when the
question.
awards was on. Oh,
We were there. We were there live
yeah,
commenting all day long.
the entire time. I mean,
Even award shows that we didn't even care about.
they just missed Twitter had just missed the watch.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
you
Just
know what I'm
missed it.
saying? But so back then though, 2010, 11, 12 when Twitter was you still had to watch stuff live, but now a lot of people on Twitter is assholes. So if they see something soon, they're gonna spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta either watch it or go Twitter dark. Basically, what's um Power
Yes. I didn't
because
watch Power, but I was very familiar with what was going on.
yeah, well, see the thing about Power was, it just had stars. It came on Sunday night, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you had the Stars app, you could see it Saturday.
Mm.
And so people that had the Stars app would see it Saturday and tell you everything of fucking there is to know.
Wow. I would be
And so
mad as hell.
exactly, people what I was like, nah. But anyway, so that's one thing. The other thing is, some of the shows, if they're not really that good, if they're not that solid with a plot or characters or anything, but they give you 10 episodes up front, you might be more likely to just sit and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it might be good, but you would have never thought that if you watched the first episode and was like, this is kind of whack, and I gotta wait till next week, Tuesday at 9:00 to say, I ain't watching that shit.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's more likely to give shows a chance if you could watch a few episodes at one time.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
the other thing is people like you who have got a lot of shit going on, who don't get on shows right when they came out. By the time you get on a show, there's already a couple of seasons. You'll watch it, be like, "What is this thing they was talking about?" Like you get when you finally get on Snowfall.
Yeah.
You're like, well, hold
did.
on. This is what people like. I'm 2 seasons behind. Let me throw it on. Like, oh no, this is great.
And I was
Because
kicking myself like, why did I miss this shit 2 years ago?
Right. And so, but it's not like that show. Even that show started off with a super bang.
Mm-hmm.
But you might have looked at the first episode and was like, oh, okay. And then by the time next Sunday when it come on, you don't forgot about it.
Right.
And then 3 weeks later, you're like, oh yeah, Snowfall. You're like, well, I'm kind of lost. I can't even catch up. I don't know anything about. I'll check it out when it's when it's on Netflix or something.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But when they have multiple episodes available, you're like, well, let me get into it. All right, I'm into it. So that's one thing. I like my stuff, but there is something, because now that we're consuming so many shows and there's so many options, it's this streaming service is Paramount and Peacock and Netflix and Hulu, Apple. Sometimes you need that break. You're like, well, I watched 5 episodes of this and 4 episodes of this. Now this show comes on every week. Okay, so I'm gonna just watch this one, and then next week I'll be back on this one. At least I don't have to sit here and watch 3 or 4 episodes of this one too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so.
Huh. Okay. So and you, man, great answer. You actually piqued my interest even more. So you would prefer, and it's weird because I don't think that Hollywood really wanted to set it up like this. You would prefer to get, let's say, a show or a series has 10 episodes. You would prefer to get 10 episodes up front and watch them as soon as it drops.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
Yeah, because one, you don't have to do that. You can watch it. You can watch them in your leisure. Like, well, I can watch two now, and then I'm gonna watch another two in a couple of days. But you have them available,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's really effective when it's a good show. The flip side of it, because like I'll take it back to Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad is incredible. I've watched the entire series at least 5 times already.
Okay.
I love it that much. But when it was going on, happening, you're like, damn, I gotta wait till next week. Man, this is bullshit. Nah, man, no, come on. So you love that. Now, what they started to do in some places, which I think is a nice medium. See, what they don't like, other people don't like it because it's like, well, everybody just the weekend that it came out. Now they ain't fucking with us no more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the problem turns into, instead of watching one episode, and you're like, damn, I gotta wait till next Sunday at 9 o'clock. Now you don't watch the whole season
Right.
on Saturday. You're like, now I gotta wait till 2023 for another one. So that's the downside of it. The downside of it, instead of waiting a week, you gotta wait a year and a half for another episode. Start to do now is some shows they'll give you a 2-pack or a 3-pack.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be like, on Wednesdays, we'll give you 2 episodes.
Okay.
And then next day 2 episodes. They'll give you 2 or 3 episodes instead of giving you the whole season. So they give you enough to keep you like, yeah.
Right.
But they're not giving you the whole
Giving you the
thing,
whole
so
thing,
you keep
right.
coming back.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So that's the new thing.
That makes sense. I think I'm more of the latter, where I would prefer to watch something and then until the follow, because that gives me something to look forward to.
Well, see, the other thing, and I'm gonna let you finish. The other thing that used to be cool with the wait is because we would have people that we would have friends that would do a podcast on something on that episode, and we would listen to the episode, and we would actually discuss the show and discuss it all week until the other one came on, so it wasn't no problem.
Right.
But now when you don't really talk to nobody about it, or maybe your wife like, I ain't interested, I ain't watching that, so you're like, damn, I get you. All right, well then, I might as well watch all of it.
Right.
But,
and you make a good point, man. And I never really thought about it, but, and I've seen it, like I said, I don't watch Power, but I do remember when Power was on, you know, people would get so frustrated because people would put out spoilers. And I never really thought that was like a thing until Power. And I know that it was a thing because I had it actually happen to me once. I was watching the show called The Blacklist. And this happened to be
man, come on, Raymond. Hey, yo, you would hate this show now.
Well, you know, I stopped watching. And the reason why
I know. That's why I'm telling you, you would hate it now, though. Because someone told you that old boy died, her husband.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, how are you going to spoil? And I mean, the person who told me that certain person died, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's listening, but someone
he
died
like 4 seasons ago. He good.
Shouting the season they're in. And they told me that he died, and I was like, and they said it thinking that I had seen it, and I was actually like a couple of episodes behind. Oh, shit, I might have been a season behind. I don't know, are you sure? But it just kind of, it was at that point, I was like, damn, people just do this. And then when Power was out, the final season that it was on, I do remember seeing a lot of talk on social media about, you know, given the fact that people were upset because, you know, and like there were people who had breakdown, like you said, breakdown videos and stuff on the episodes, and the episodes hadn't even been out like 24 hours.
And you know what's even worse? What's even worse is not just Power, but all these shows, people will hop on Twitter and Instagram and post pictures and spoilers, or, oh, I can't believe he did that, or he did that, killed him, or this, that, and the third. The West Coast ain't getting it for 3 more hours. Right. So they like, yo.
Yeah, I try, even with, like you mentioned, Snowfall. When I would get on Twitter and I would tweet with certain people, I try to make sure that whatever I said was something general and it wasn't something where somebody could respond and, you know, ultimately spoil it for someone else. And like one of my boys, he lives in LA, and so we would always talk about Snowfall, but I couldn't talk or tweet or text until, you know, the next day or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
I think, and you tell me what you think about this. I think when it comes to TV, as far as how we consume TV, like you said, you got Hulu, you got Netflix. I just got another TV, so it's got all of these apps and stuff on it. So I'm still trying to figure this stuff. Well, I'm not trying to figure it out, but I'm still trying to figure out which one I'm going to actually purchase because I'm cutting DirecTV. It does not make any sense for me to pay $140 a month. It's just because I don't watch much TV to be.
Right.
What it seems to me, and I will say when it comes to TV, I'm probably on the outside looking in. I'm more of a bystander where you're inside. You're in the house.
Yeah. I got a couple of floors.
Right. So it reminds me of don't laugh, Golden Corral.
Oh my God.
It is what I'm saying is like the streaming services and how we consume content, like, a buffet, if you will. And it's you can never get full, or you get full or whatever the case may be, but you never get satisfied because you got something over here. You got something over here. And you have all of these things to compete with. And not to mention, okay, well, hey, we got all this stuff on TV, but hey, you also have this social media stuff over here that we have to compete with as well. So you got so much stuff, and I don't think people ever really hone in on one particular thing because there's always something along that is even better.
Well, not necessarily. So here's really the thing.
Okay.
Because the dynamic has changed so much, whereas when we were growing up, you had your Monday shows, you had your Tuesday shows, so on and so forth. Those was your shows at 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. That was your lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Even like when we were kids, we had a Saturday morning cartoon lineup.
Yes, sir.
Now, the thing is, the things that weren't in those lineups, song. So you never watched those things because they weren't in your lineup and they had already came on and went off. Now you can have your lineup, and then when someone tells you about some other thing because it went in your lineup, you can go also watch that entire series or that entire season.
Right.
See, so the streaming providers and the networks are getting eyes on their product. It's just not the way that traditionally they did, or maybe even how they want it. But if Snowfall comes on at 9 o'clock on Sunday and comes on 9 o'clock on Sunday, you used to be like, well, now you got to pick what you're going to watch live, but you can watch the other one at 10 o'clock as soon as the other one goes off. Whereas before, you saw one or the other because there's no commercials, so you ain't switching back and forth.
Right.
And or you missing stuff. So that's the biggest difference. You can get all of the stuff that you want. Now, see, the thing is, where you would think you would rather have episode come on and then the next week you watch the other episode again. If they give you all 10, 12, 18 episodes, you don't have to watch them at once.
Right.
You can discipline yourself to watch one every week. But the thing is, when you're like, damn, it's another typhoon outside, I can't go golf, I can't grill, kids gone, wife's sick. Let me go watch a couple of these episodes because you have them instead of sitting around like, damn, and it ain't nothing on TV. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So that's the benefit of that. But I mean, if I was, well, see, that's the thing, because I was gonna say, even if I was in a relationship, or even if Twitter had like it used to be, you know what I'm saying? But
it'll never be like it used to be.
Nah, never, ever. Oh, you can't even find enough people to put in a group to make it like it used to be. But like, because I was gonna say, like, so say for instance, if I had a chick over and it was like, this is our show, and it's like, every Tuesday we watch this show. Even if they gave me all the episodes, we could just get together whenever the hell and just watch the show. It is, don't watch that without me, asshole. That's it. So ultimately, it doesn't matter. What it does do is help space out your viewing. If you feel like you watch too much TV or you can't keep up with stuff when stuff does come on once a week, that would help. But me, I watch TV. Like today, I turned on this show. I started watching on Netflix, and it was another episode because I didn't watch all of it at one time. I was being a good person, and I was like, damn, which show is this? No, that's the one with the guy with the girl and the wife cheating on him. It took me about 5 scenes to remember what show I was watching. I'm like, yeah, okay, I
Oh, that's
remember him.
funny.
All right, I'm in. He's the one, him, and then the dude got shot. Got it. All right, now I can enjoy the rest of the show.
Got you.
But
Got
yeah.
you. So tell me this. So when you're TV, as
Mm.
much TV as you consume, what's been two-part question? What's been the one of the best things that you've seen? Let's say in the last year. We don't make these podcasts dated, but let's say in the last since we've been in this pandemic, what's one of the things that you watch, and then what's one of the worst things that you've watched? And actually, three-part question. And the third part, how long will you give an episode or a series before you be like, nah, man, fuck this, I'm done?
Best thing, probably one of the Marvel shows like WandaVision or
Okay.
Invincible. Those were pretty good. It's it was a joint on Netflix that was really good. Name somebody. I love when somebody get killed and somebody got to go find out who killed them and then they get killed too. I love shit like that. But the worst, the worst thing that I actually watched all the way through
Mm-hmm.
is The Circle. I don't know what I was up to, but I
You must
watched
have been
both
bored.
seasons too.
Wow.
It is awful, like
Mm.
disgustingly awful, like throw up awful. But I watched it because I started it, so like fucking whatever. And there was one chick that was really bad.
Okay.
Anyway,
That's always good.
that always keeps me.
Of course.
But if it's a new show and also I don't watch any trailers, I don't read synopsis.
You just go in.
If I look at it, like, oh man, that's cool. if it's Netflix,
You
when
still
you
going off the album covers.
yeah, that's how I roll. If it's Netflix and you roll over the thing and they'll have a little paragraph and it'll like mysterious. I'll look for like mysterious murder detective or because I hate funny shit. Oh, I'll take it back. Fucking Ted Lasso.
Oh, really?
Is really good, and I did not want to watch it. I was not going to watch it, and I kept seeing people talk about it. I was like, man, I ain't watching it because I don't like comedies because they're not really funny. I'm funny. I know what funny is,
This guy.
and those aren't me. I'm hilarious, and so those aren't comedies are never funny. Like the little Cedric Entertainer show. I'm like, shut up. It's stupid shit. It's not funny. But I was like, one night, I was like, let me throw on some Ted Lasso. I was like cleaning up my room or something. I was like throwing it in the background. I was like, man, this is great. So Ted Lasso is one of the things. But I'll look for like keywords and a little synopsis unless I hear a word and I'm like, nah, this is a good show. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Just tell me if it's good or not.
Right.
Or if someone says something that's new. Like I just shit called Cruel Summer. It seems cool. So somebody died. So they had to figure something out. Yeah, some girl. But then I also watch stupid shit like Emily in Paris. Like, what are you up to? I'm like, I don't know. I'm a girl, I guess. But I'll give it 2 episodes.
Okay.
I'll give it 2 episodes. I'll watch the first episode. If I'm like, I'll give it another one. If I'm like that after the second one, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna bounce.
Yeah, because there's so much other things on the buffet. I mean, so that's I always ask people that, and I know you probably consume more TV than anybody else that I know. So
Yeah, it's
I was
ridiculous how
always
much shit I
interested
watch.
to figure out how, when do you throw in the towel with some of these shows?
Now the thing is, the weird thing with me, and don't forget what you're about to ask me. The weird thing is, depending on the level of if I go through a few other shows and I'm like that, well, that other one wasn't so bad. Then I'll go back to
come back to it.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that actually makes sense. That makes total sense. Last question before I get you out of here. You mentioned Twitter.
Also, believe it or not, Equalizer with Queen Latifah.
You know what? I saw a couple of episodes. I was
not bad.
And I love Dana anyway, so
They got to get rid of that daughter, but everything else is all right. Kids on every show ruin the show. I don't know why people have kids. Kids are stupid.
Oh, stop it.
No, you don't. Your kids are like 40
now. So Twitter. You mentioned Twitter.
Yep.
We're both on Twitter. Not as much as we used to be, but we're on Twitter.
No.
Do you take from let's say it's a Friday morning, you log in, you eating your cereal or whatever like that. You go on Twitter and everybody's buzzing about this particular series that just dropped on Netflix. Twitter saying it's dope. Everybody, do you dive in following Twitter, or do you stay back and say, I don't really rock with what Twitter says it's good? It probably sucks.
Oh no! If it's something like that, I'll immediately close Twitter and go to the shit and see. And if I got time, I'll check out the first episode.
Okay.
That's how I found out about. I want to say Invincible. I found out about Ted Lasso. People talking about that. I found out about that on there. I just see little shit. I'm like, okay. And then when I'm scrolling and I recognize one of the things I read, I'm like, yeah. I mean, I just know that I'm not going to be able to discuss. I don't discuss shit anymore on Twitter. I hate Twitter. I hate Twitter. The only reason why I'm only on Twitter for two reasons: to promote casts, and because I have so many random thoughts in my head, I got to get them out somehow.
Right.
Other than that, man, I hate Twitter. Twitter is so stupid.
Oh,
people really think it's real. Twitter is not real. Everyone who's listening to this bonus episode, Twitter is not real. It's not real life. Don't let it affect your real life.
No, Twitter is not real. For real, it's not real.
You'll go in there and be like, man, Raisin Bran is my shit. Only old people eat Raisin. Get this person. I'm like, why can't I like Raisin Bran?
Hey, man,
damn, I can't even like Raisin Bran.
It's funny. I retweeted one guy that goes, and it was one of the ones. It was a cereal, and I made mention of the fact that it's an unpopular opinion. I was like, but I love Raisin Bran because I love raisins. I said I'm never getting rid of Raisin Bran. I had people hit me up like, yo, man, raisins are nasty. Raisins in cereal. I was like, I didn't ask you.
Right.
This was my one gotta go. If you want to know what your one gotta go is, reply to one gotta go. Don't reply to me.
That shit is crazy. It be the smallest things. Yeah, man. Like, man, I bought this shirt because I like orange. Oh, you wearing orange? Hey, man.
Well, you a Republican. You wear all the Republicans wear orange.
And then mad people you don't know jump in the conversation like, yeah, man, I don't know why he's doing this. And I'm like, what? Like, what?
Like, I don't even know you.
Right. Nah, I just scroll, man. I despise Twitter.
It's definitely not what it used to be. I ask about that because, like, I know now that I'm moving closer and closer toward it, because probably by the time you guys hear me and Eclectik on the next podcast, my DirecTV days will be over. So
hey.
I'm interested to see what's gonna be my appetite. I like documentaries. I like murder mysteries as well.
Well, see, those are the good shits for Netflix. You won't miss out on nothing now because you got those on Netflix. Now, it's a couple of good things on Hulu. I suggest Hulu Live. I know people that got the YouTube TV that like it. But I go Hulu Live because you get the original content too. They got their own shows, like Netflix got their own shows, and it's owned by, so you can get a bundle with Disney Plus, so you can get the Marvel shit. So that's what I suggest. But you figure out what you're gonna do.
Yeah, and I think I'm definitely going to do Marvel. I'm gonna do some binging on some of the Marvel stuff. I missed all of the spoilers and everything for WandaVision as well as Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I'm going to go back and watch those.
Yeah, those are good.
I heard all of those were good. And people who I know and I trust their opinions said, these are good. And, not a lot of episodes either. So it's good to, kind of pick up where it left off. And I'm a big, MCU guy. So that'll probably be where I start because I can't think of any TV series that I haven't seen and I need to catch up on.
Fargo?
Yo. Didn't you tell me about Fargo with Chris Rock?
Yeah,
right?
that's why I mentioned that. All the seasons of Fargo are great, but
okay. So, I'm gonna have to text you. You're gonna have to text me a list of shit to once in between basketball and football season, there's nothing there except for watching my Yankees. But we're here now. We're in a pandemic, and you're not really going out as much. So I find myself in a position where I'm going to watch more TV. I'm recording more podcasts. I'm watching more TV. Those are the two things that I'm probably doing more so than anything. But I had this idea down, And, you know, it's like, I was telling somebody the other day, like, these podcasts are like albums. So I wrote this down. I was like, me and E need to talk about what's on the box, what's on the TV. And,
Oh, yeah.
So that's it. And it hit me when we were talking earlier. So yeah, this is great, but I'm definitely gonna, because trust me, ladies and gentlemen, this guy, you go to his IG story, he will post a not a review, it'll just be a screenshot of a picture of a particular episode or whatever the case may be, and you're like, what is that? Is that on Hulu? I never heard, like, it's some shit you never heard before.
Yeah, and I just be like, not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Still watching.
Good, really good, worth the 2 hours or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But you're right. Our the way that we consume TV is so different than the way it used to be. You know, I'm kind of catching up, I guess. Everybody else is. You know, and I'm definitely not gonna be spoiling stuff for people. But yeah, man, I just had to get your opinion on that, man, because I again, there's nobody better to talk to about TV. I mean, this guy watches TV all the damn time, man. Oh, that's good for us. Tell people where they can find you, man.
Listen, if you, I guess you're not gonna hear any current TV stuff, but I'll talk about a whole bunch of old school TV stuff on the Eclectic Cast. You can follow the Twitter and Instagram at Eclectic Podcast. If you're a hip hop sort of person, hip hop culture, not rap music. Encyclopedia HH. There's a difference. Encyclopedia HH, Twitter, Encyclopedia Hip Hop Podcast. Both of those shows, you're gonna hear me and a whole bunch of Kyle. He might as well be the official permanent co-host, but he's busy actually doing, so he can't be that. So, but hit follow if you listen to the show. Go on Apple and give a review, even if you say it sucks. And some of the shows are also on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
So I am on YouTube because I am.
That's right. And you know me, and you've been listening this long, you should know me, you know where to find me. But I got to thank you guys for checking out this bonus edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. That's going to do it for us. So for my boy Eclectic, boy 12 Kyle, we'll catch you guys next time. 5 Gs.
Yep.